Well, I'm joined now by the chairman of Utilita Energy and the former chair of the Government Committee on Fuel Poverty, Derek Lickorish. Mr. Lickorish, is it not as simple as saying, shouldn't the energy companies take less profits?
I understand the point that's being made, but we need to draw a distinction between what we mean by energy companies. I mean, the energy retail companies like ourselves, Utilita, Octopus, E.ON, all of those, the retail sector is overall loss-making. And whilst it would be very nice, and I would love to be in a situation of saying, right, we'll just cut our prices and to customers, we're not in a position to do that. And I only wish we were. The amount we are allowed to charge customers for energy is set by the price cap. And of course, the price cap was designed a long time ago and doesn't work particularly well when we have volatility in the marketplace. And at the moment, we have never, ever seen such volatility that we do as we have today. And if you recall, Rishi Sunak announced back in May the 26th, if I remember correctly, he announced that there would be a lot of support for customers overall, and the one that would go to everyone is £400. But at that time, the price cap was going to be around £2,800. And as we now know, it's going to be around £3,600. So £400 he was going to give to everybody then, now needs another £800 adding to it. So I'm afraid the energy retailers are certainly not in a position to bridge any gap like that at all. I only wish we could.
Do you think the government then should be doing that? I mean, essentially, the amount that he promised needs to double and then some. Would that help? Would that make enough of a difference?
Every little helps, as it's said. But what we're facing here is a crisis like we've never had before in terms of energy prices. And my primary concern is for our customers and for the poorest and most vulnerable customers. That's why today I've been calling for a social tariff. And I appreciate Sky News giving me the opportunity to make that point again. I cannot believe that the government appears to be sitting on its hands and watching this tragedy unfold because we have the contest for the leadership going on at the moment. I would have thought that those two contestants should be joining with the current Prime Minister and sort out what they're going to do to avert this problem for the poorest and the most vulnerable. And that's why I would like to see the industry pull together and put in place by the 1st of January a social tariff for the most vulnerable. And I think that that would involve somewhere around 10 million households. And those 10 million households, if I can just think about it for a minute and draw this to your attention, Liz Truss talks a lot about tax cuts. Well, you have something like 4.5 million households live on less than £12,750 a year. That's all they earn. So they don't pay any tax. So tax cuts won't help them. People who live on benefits alone, tax cuts won't help them. So we have to be bold, we have to be brave, and I think a social tariff fixed at a price that customers can afford is the right solution to where we are today. Then for the rest of us who won't fall into that category, we will constantly need to be looking at how people's incomes are going to be topped up. But at the moment, I cannot imagine what it must be like to be living on such a low income, already in debt, as we've heard. And we also know that around 4 million of the poorest households have other arrears building up. Our company, we have a special team called Extra Care, where we get our customers who are in the most difficulty. And those customers, it tends to be no money. And my concern is we've seen a 140% increase in our calls to that part of our business for people with no money. And here we are, it's in the middle of summer. If I can just share this with you, that in 2020, that if £50 of energy would have lasted you between 10 and 12 days, when the price cap comes in on the 1st of October, that's going to last you 3.5 days. And currently, when the price cap goes up again on the 1st of January, that £50 of energy It's going to last you 2.8 days. And that's providing the cap doesn't go up anymore. It's not certain. All of these estimates that we give, I think we're getting reasonably accurate now with the October cap, which will be around 3,600, I do believe that. But we are not sure about the price cap in December, because we're still referencing the tariff. And the price cap tariff reference period doesn't end until the middle of November. There's plenty of opportunity for Putin to cause us more trouble, squeeze gas, and see prices go even higher. That's why we've got to take action. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, just say that the Chancellor and business and energy companies are meeting tomorrow. Any hope that this will be, this is obviously something that will be on their radar. Any hope that this will be what will come from that?
Well, we started this conversation about this generic term, energy companies, and I mentioned that we are the energy retailers. Yes, we are an energy company, but we are not profitable as such at present. There are other energy companies. There are people that, of course, who build wind farms, who have received subsidies for renewable schemes. There are the oil majors who are obviously drilling and for gas. And those are the companies that are in at that meeting tomorrow. So Utilita is not at that meeting. They will have heard today about what some of us are asking for. I hope it gets discussed, but I cannot see that being concluded. We do have several discussions with government and with the regulator. And for my part, I will continue my call for a social tariff.
Excuse me. We're hearing about a cost of living package as well being put together. Again, this is not going to be something that either of the prospective Tory leaders are going to be held to. Do you have any confidence at all it'll make a difference?
No, I'm very concerned. And I think that the government has a duty of care, despite its current situation with the outgoing Prime Minister, but that shouldn't stop them getting together and deciding and setting a direction of travel. So much groundwork needs to be done in anything that we do. And the sooner we start with the groundworks of making sure we can do what we think we can, what I'm saying we can do, it needs that ignition to that plan. And that surely can be given by Truss, Sunak and Boris Johnson.
Are you surprised that you, the chairman of a utility company, find yourself in a position where you are essentially trying to come up with social policy to try to ease poverty for people?
Does it surprise me? Yes, it does. But I have, when you introduced me, I was the government's chairman of the Fuel Poverty Advisory Group for nearly 7 years. And that's exactly what we were trying to do. And we did discuss a social tariff back then, but not in the heat of the battle or the size of the issue that we have today. And that's what annoys me even more, that whilst we had the debates in the past where the problems were nowhere near as challenging as they are now, I'm not hearing it enough today with the sense of urgency it needs, because there's going to be an interregnum as far as the government is concerned with the voting going on for our new leader. They need to be getting on with it now. Do you think the government
gets the level of concern and the impact that it is having on people?
I think some of them do. I thought that Rishi Sunak on Talk TV last night has certainly got what we've been trying to tell him for a long time, so he's caught up. This needs to be tightly targeted and very deep to the poor that need it the most. So to me, it's palpably obvious what we need to be doing, and enough of us have got to go and kick the backsides of those that can do it, and the sooner they do it, then I shall start resting a bit easier, and I hope more importantly so with our customers. A third of our customer base are on our priority services register, which means that they have vulnerability issues of some kind. And I've listened into calls to hear of their plight, and it is heartbreaking. And I come back, this is the summer, not the winter. Demand in the winter will go through the roof, and they'll be spending about 150 to 160% more this winter than they were last winter. So this is absolutely horrifying where we're heading for.
OK. Derek Lickorish, Chairman of Utilita Energy. Good to talk to you today. Thank you.
Thank you.